Okay, so that's preparing. It says setting it up. It says redirecting to Facebook Live page.
Yeah, meeting is now streaming live on Facebook, it says.
Oh, hi. Are you
Hi.
there? Is it working?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the big surprise every
Yes.
time if it's working.
Okay, it seems like it's working because I'm on my Facebook feed and I see us. So, hi! It works. Hi, everyone. So, this is actually take two. Heske and I were here at this exact same time yesterday, thinking that we were talking to to each other, but at the same time to all of you, only to find out after, and this is like hours after, because I was just hoping that the technology gods were making magic, that it was on Facebook, and it turns out it wasn't. So we're doing round two today. So I'm really grateful that Heske has agreed to come on. For those of you who are watching for the very first time, I'm Denise. I'm a parenting coach and a mom of two based in Madrid. We are currently in the middle of a lockdown, so I've been going live every day just to share my experience and also give some tips to other parents who are going through the same thing. What I was originally supposed to talk about today was how we were doing after, because it's been 3 weeks since they've closed schools. So I wanted to just share what we were doing. Obviously, I also want to share what we were doing yesterday. So I'm gonna take 2 minutes just to share like how our 3 weeks have been and what's been working and what hasn't been working. So for us, what's been working is the routine that we may or may not follow. It's nice to have that structure, but without having the pressure of having to do the things, right? What hasn't been working was in the first week, I got into like a really good routine of exercising every day, but I kind of fell out of that. So what I'm going to be doing differently is to kind of go back to the beginning and to go back to doing that exercise routine. So yeah, that's like long story short what I was going to talk about today, because I really want to focus on what we talked about yesterday and on Heske. So Heske is also a mom and she is also in Madrid. She is oh no, I knew it yesterday and I'm like, she is a hypnotherapy coach who will talk more about what she does.
Yeah.
So hi Heske, thank you so much for coming on again.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. Yeah, like Denise already said, I am also a mother of two. My kids are 7 and 10 years old, and I live near Madrid, not in the city. So, but you know, we're on the same boat here. We cannot go away from our houses, basically. And yeah, I'm a hypnotherapy coach. I use hypnotherapy to support people towards higher self-esteem, a better relationship with their bodies, and increase their health habits. And also people who recover from eating disorders are frequently my clients, so that I can support them in their recovery.
Yeah. So I asked Heske to come on because what I not realized, because it's something I've always known about myself, is that one of my coping skills, it's kind of like my default unconscious coping skill, when I'm feeling stressed or anxious, is I eat, right? I eat my feelings. Like some people stress clean, some people look at Facebook, I eat. And since Heske is a coach who specifically works with people with eating disorders, or for them to create healthy habits, like especially healthy coping habits, I thought it would be really interesting for her to come on, because even if you are not a stress eater like myself, I'm sure there are still ways that you are well, not sure, but there might be ways that you are coping that aren't exactly helpful to you. So the idea is that Heska's going to come in right now and she's going to share us her wisdom so that we will be able to cope with stress in a more useful or more productive way.
Yeah, well, actually, I think we all know the feeling of stressors in our lives, and that's actually something that you cannot prevent. So stress has gotten a very negative connotation to it, but actually stress is just part of life, right? We all have to overcome stressors in our lives, and normally that's not really a problem. But right now we are living in a time where we are in our houses a lot, and we are ingesting a lot of information, and you cannot really walk away from it literally. So yeah, and you're dealing with your kids, you're dealing with your family life in a small space, and that combined with the whole social situation, our health situation, our economic situation can really add up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you might even start to feel that in your body, that your muscles are tensed, and you feel that you have this kind of lump in your throat, or in your chest, or in your stomach, or in your belly.
And can I add that sometimes you might not even feel it in your body if you're not used to feeling your emotions, right? Because especially when we're kids, a lot of times, a lot of us were told to just like not feel it, like stop crying and everything. So it might come out also as behaviors, right? It might also be that maybe you're more impatient with your children, or you just find yourself a lot more what's the word for it? Like triggered?
Irritable.
Yeah, irritable. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It can add up on all different ways. You can feel it in your body, but you can also have that kind of full head, as I always say. You feel like your head is just exploding, and you're up to your nose in just impressions and stuff that you thoughts and worries and so on. So what can you do, right? To get rid of that in a healthy way? Well, you can I'm also a psychology graduate, so you can either use a more mindful way. So we would say that would be the top down way. So that would be through mindfulness techniques, like writing a diary, just observing what is happening, just looking at it from a distance. And by creating that distance and observing it, you already create that breathing space. And so, yeah, writing a journal or meditation, mindfulness are really great ways to, and it doesn't have to be very long. It doesn't have to be for an hour a day or something, but already like 10 minutes in the morning or 10 minutes in the evening can be really helpful. You have great apps like Headspace or Calm that are just, you can download them for free, and they're very useful to do some stress release in a healthy way. It's also very helpful to get some insight in your coping mechanisms, in how you're in general dealing with stress. Because you're observing, you're not judging, you're just observing. And then the other way is what we call the bottom up way, and that would be going directly into the physical experience of stress, or into into that lump in your throat, or the heaviness on your heart, or the pain in your stomach, and where you really feel like your whole nervous system is just really like tensed. And there I always say it's very, very helpful to just start to move and to get your heart rate up. And it doesn't really have to be a very complicated fitness class, but just you cannot go for a walk now, but that's always the most easy thing to do. But do something like yoga, or just jump a rope, or do something get your heart pumping and your breathing in how do you call it, like equilibrium, in balance.
So listening to you, I don't know. This is what I came up with. So basically, every time I feel like eating and I know I'm not hungry, I should just do like 10 jumping jacks, and then that way
Could be.
That's moving. That's moving.
Could be. You know, we are naturally hardwired to want to walk away from an unpleasant feeling, right?
Yeah.
You just want to avoid it. That's how we're hardwired. You want to go away from that nasty fear, anxiety feeling, and you want to go towards a happy, comforting feeling as quick as possible. Well, if you have learned as a child that food means comfort, and I mean, as babies, we are nurtured by our mothers, and the breast milk is kind of the first food, the first nutrition that we are receiving. It's like fatty and sweet at the same time. It's like a regressional way to look for that comfort, the warmth, the protection, the safety that we have stored in on a subconscious level in our minds. And and later on you are rewarded with food. When there's a happy event, we have food. When you are sad, you take the ice cream. We are completely conditioned that food is a way to get you to that happy place in a quick way. So it's not strange that that happens. But on the long term, you can ask yourself if that is the best.
What you want. Yeah. So exactly. Aside from like meditation, journaling, moving, what else can we do? Because yesterday you said the one that I really like, which works for me. Well, you say it. You say
about the language. Yeah.
Yes.
Because we all have this, inner dialogue with ourselves on a daily basis, and a lot of times that's not very on a conscious level. But the words that we are thinking are directly tied to the beliefs that we have about ourselves and about the world and how that works. So, you can maybe look for yourself how your inner dialogue is. But if you recognize yourself thinking many times, I can't deal with this. I just can't do it. This is too much for me. All this, it's like, I cannot do this. This is too much. On a negative dialogue that you're having, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure, because you're confirming something in a negative sense all the time. And if you say to yourself, for example, if we're talking about the food, like, I do not want to eat the cookie, your subconscious mind is not registering the word not. So it only hears eat and cookie. And what you're actually doing, if you're thinking all the time, oh, I do not want this, or I do not want that, is that you are actually priming something, you're making it top of mind, and it becomes a very active thing in your mind. Well, you don't want that. So if you turn it around, and if you start to think about, what do I want and what can I do? I am an intelligent person. I can cope with life. I have coping skills. I want to have a healthy lifestyle. I want to work out. I love to eat healthy foods, fruits and vegetables. I love to drink water, and put it in a positive way instead of what you don't want. Then your whole inner conversation starts to change, and also you are saying to your mind where you want it to go.
Yeah, I think I like this for two reasons. One is because it's the same thing that I do with my kids, right? When I don't want them to do something, I don't tell them not to do it. Instead, I offer them options that they can do instead.
Yeah.
And precisely because of that, because they don't hear the no, they just hear the cookie or
and it's really something that we don't realize, is that we are actually commanding our minds all the time. We are feeding our minds with words, and the mind is just doing and acting on the word that we're telling it. So if you're saying all the time, eat cookie, drink beer, eat crisps,
hit brother.
yeah, hit brother, then you're actually making something top of mind. And you have to be very precise of what you do want.
Yeah.
So once you start realizing that, and I always, the moment that I say this to people and I ask them, but what do you want? And be specific about it.
Yeah.
And then the whole conversation changes. And you see people's faces just lighting up because it does something to you.
Yeah.
If you say to a child, you can go and you can do this, or you can do that, or you have 3 options. You can choose. You can see their faces just like,
yeah,
oh,
they get super excited as well.
They get really excited. And you have to treat yourself, your subconscious mind, in a different, in the same way, actually.
Yeah, so that was, you kind of touched on it as well, that what I like about changing the language also is because it takes you out of the present moment of like instant gratification. I want that cookie, as opposed to when you start thinking like, oh, I want to drink water, or I want to eat healthily. Then it kind of reminds you of what your goals are, right? Of what are the things that you really want, and not just what are the things that you want in this moment.
Yeah, you create an aspiration, and what you they always say, be careful what you wish for. And you can say that in a negative sense, but you can also say it in a positive sense, that if you are really precise of what you wish for, then it's actually more likely that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So if you keep that dialogue with yourself in these stressful times, like, and you're focusing all the things that you don't have at the moment, like, I cannot go out, I cannot see my friends, I cannot work the same way because I have my kids at home, I cannot do this, I cannot do that, you will not feel better.
Yeah.
And the stress is going to only increase. And if you turn that around, and you hear that a lot these days, that people are doing that actually, and trying to look for the bright side and the upside of the situation, and it instantly makes you feel better. Yeah.
I think what I want to say is kind of like, also notice the difference between denying what you're feeling or what's happening and choosing to focus on something else, right? Because I think a lot of times we have this tendency of like, oh, I feel bad, like I feel bad that we can't go outside, and then you think, no, you shouldn't feel bad because at least you still have your job. But it's kind of like more than like denying it, then it's more just saying like, yes, you can't go outside, like accepting that is what it is, and then saying, but you can choose your thoughts and you can just focus on what you have.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the beauty of, for example, mindfulness, is where you are observing something. You don't have to push it away.
Yeah.
You don't have to say, no, I'm not stressed.
Yeah. I'm not stressed. I'm not
stressed at all. No. You have to give it an outlet. You have to do something with that energy, and it's very understandable that you feel that way. But then what do you do? And there you have a choice, and there you do have control of what you do with that. Yeah.
Yesterday also I don't remember how we got to it, but I made like an analogy with the Frozen song of doing the next best thing.
Yeah.
Do you remember how we got to it?
I have no idea.
It was really good though. It was really good.
It was really beautiful, but I don't remember. I'm sorry.
I think it came from the fact that we were talking about habits and how it takes at least 21 days to build a habit. And then so like if you're starting doing this and then you realize like, it works once, but then the next time you do it, it doesn't work, that doesn't mean that you have to give up.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah, like the baby steps.
Yeah.
steps. Yeah, we were talking about creating this new habit of thought, right? You know, giving yourself space to feel whatever you're feeling, but you want to move somewhere else. You want to do something else. You want to focus on something new, and you want to create a new habit.
Yeah.
And that the mind learns by repetition.
Yeah.
And that you cannot expect of yourself, like after one day or 1 week, that everything is okay and you're fine. You know, you have to keep working it, and then
Yeah.
after 7 days you fall through again. You're like you're making a mistake. But we were talking about how little kids learn to walk, keep on going. They have that kind of confidence in a natural way, because they don't know anything else than keep on trying, you know.
Yeah.
They want to, it's a natural
Mm-hmm.
they want to learn to walk, and they want to see, and they fall down and they get up again, and they just keep on trying and trying, and then they learn it, you know. That's actually okay to fail sometimes, and then to just get up again and
Yeah.
keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. And do the next best thing.
That's that thing. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, that was basically all the things that we talked about. So it was finding a way to like observe yourself, right? Like through meditation, through journaling, through mindfulness. It's also changing your inner dialogue and focusing on what you can have or what you want instead of the things that you don't want or what you can't do. And then finally, to just do the next best thing. Even if you fail, to just get up again and just keep trying.
Yeah.
So if you want to work with Heske, if you want to learn more about her, where can they find you?
They can find me on Facebook on Mind My Life Hypnotherapy.
I'll put the link also.
Sorry?
I'll put the link also on the video
Yeah,
description.
great.
Assuming it comes out.
Yeah, woohoo! And my website is mindmylife.s or .nl. And yeah, there I have a lot of videos about the technique that I use, and you know, I think there's really a lot of information there, and how to contact me is also in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Heske.
Yeah, thank you.
All of you who are watching live and who are watching the replay. Tomorrow, Claudette will be coming on, and she'll be talking about your emotional salary. It's not directly related to parenting, but I think right now, with all of us working from home, it's nice to kind of see how our emotional salary is affected by that, and what exactly is an emotional salary even. Because everything in the end, when it comes to parenting, our lives are all our parts of our lives are all interconnected. So if we feel better about working from home, we also can then feel better about being with our kids. So it's kind of like looking at things from a more global perspective, or well, work focused perspective tomorrow. So yeah, thanks again. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Heske, for coming on twice.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. And I'll see the rest of you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.